Hi, this is Zach here with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday the 13th of September. Starting off with Amprius, and here you can see there's been bullish divergence with the low for September, but higher RSI trace, and that suggests that we should at least get back to retesting the old March support there at $4.20. Above that, maybe turn of the month resistance up to $5 by the end of this month. Obviously, you don't want to see any fresh lows below $3.50 in the meantime. Moving on to Aspira, and here we've had a bounce off that neckline resistance from May, around $4. Above that, looking for a retest, obviously, of the initial September resistance through $6.50. Ultimately, maybe as soon as the end of next month, up to $9.50 at the top of that rising trend channel from back in March. But the key here really holding the $4 area. Next up is another riser, which is looking interesting at the moment, Aptorum. Or Aptorum rather. Here we've had a sideways shuffle along the 50-day moving average. That's around the $2.10 level. Above that initial target, the 200-day moving average, $3.40, and then ultimately maybe by the end of next month up to $5, which is the top of that broadening triangle from back in March. But encouraging that we've had this turnaround backed by bullish divergence going into the beginning of September in the RSI window. Stock which I covered earlier this week, which seems to be on the move in a nice way, is Crinetics, and here the gap up to start the week, and then the push higher yesterday, hitting that initial target there around $29.50. Above $29.50 on an end-of-day close basis, looking for a March resistance line projection as high as $38, and hopefully we could see that by the end of this month. And we want to see this stock hold above the top of the latest gap at $25, but ideally we stay on the right side of the $30 level. On to a stock which is looking like it wants to resolve itself to the upside. Here we've got Cryoport, and basically a double bottom there around $12.30 for the shares for retesting the August support over the course of this month. And we're looking for, after the key reversal, to the upside. Initial target at the 50-day moving average just shy of $15, and then maybe up to $18 by the end of next month. And decent looking turnaround it is too, especially after yesterday's very strong price action. Moving along to a stock which is also looking as if it wants to give us a decent turnaround. Here we've had an unfilled gap to the upside off recent post-July support there around $4.60, and above the 50-day line at $5.10, looking for $7 as soon as the end of this month at the top of a rising trend channel from the end of last year back in November. Fingermotion, a much followed stock, and you can probably see why by the daily chart, a sort of near vertical move since the end of last month, hitting the top of that rising trend channel from back in December. A break of the $8 level, and we could be looking to upgrade the upside for this stock up to an old October resistance line projection as high as $14, and that could happen as soon as the end of next month, i.e. the end of October. So that V-shaped formation there looking very strong for Fingermotion. Onto a stock which is perhaps a little bit earlier in its cycle in terms of the upside. We've got Liqtech International, and here you can see that there's a rising trend channel heading for $4.40. That's basically the one-year resistance for the shares, so looking for that while we remain above recent neckline resistance around $3.70. So a little setup there, nice little setup there for that situation. On to Microalgo, and here you can see that we've had obviously quite a rocky ride over recent months, but we seem to be stabilizing within a rising trend channel from back in December. Floor of the channel there around $2.30, top of the channel there $4.60, and looking for that to be hit by the end of next month. Maybe we'll get the sort of spike that we had back in January over the next few weeks. A decent mover now coming up with Nextnav, and quite a favorite here on the Chartbreakers. V-shaped bull flag gap high yesterday, and basically through the $5.10 level, looking for $6.25 at an upper parallel there from back in June last year. Hopefully we'll see that by the end of this month while we hold above the $4.50 gap floor zone. P3, the next situation to look at, and P3 Health broken through the 200-day line, in fact the 50-day line as well, around $2.25. Above that, looking for $5 by the end of next month, within a falling trend channel which has been in place since September last year. That looks as though that would be a reasonable destination for the share, especially as we've already had a rally similar to that back in April to June. On to a stock which has really been a fast mover in the recent past. We had our target there around $13.50. That was exceeded yesterday by quite some distance. We're looking for a break back above $13.50 to give us a retest of up to $18 in the top of that wider trend channel from March this year. Only back below resistance on the way up around the $10 mark, really delaying the upside scenario for that situation. On to the last three. First one is the beauty health company, and here we've got a falling wedge break. Bullish divergence after the lower low there, so that shows that some momentum here. Initial target $7.25, and the 50-day line above that looking for $10 maybe by the end of next month. We'd like to see the shares remain above the $6 level and that broken line from back in April in the meantime. WeWork, an unlikely winner over the recent past, and here you can see on the daily chart that we've had actually some decent warning of that, the uptrend line in the RSI window, bullish divergence even with the lower lows that we've had for the early part of September, but initial target here up to $7.70, and above that looking for up to $16.60 over the course of the next 1 to 2 months. If you're cautious, probably wait for an end of day close through the 50-day line at $7.70 before assuming that a lasting recovery is on its way. Wheels Up is the last stock, and the Wheels Up experience seems to be one which has consisted of a very strong recovery for the shares. A bullish divergence going into the turnaround from the $1.20 area. Broken a line of resistance there from June at $2, and above that we've been looking for $5.60 by the end of next month, and the way things are going we might get that by the end of this month, especially while we remain above $2.80, which was the resistance on the way up, and also the resistance earlier in August on the way down. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.